Live from Gahanna, WGLH-TV presents Lincoln Live with Wesley Triplett and Ray Tadako.
Today on Lincoln Live, 2 opportunities for students to help others are going on right now in our school. We'll take you there.
The show will not go on. Why Gehanathon was canceled and what you can still do to help the kids at Nationwide Hospital.
A decision that impacts our entire community, how the board voted, and how the way students reacted will change the course for the future.
You've seen the signs and you've paid the prices, but why are gas prices so high right now? We'll answer that question.
You're watching Lincoln Live.
Good morning, Lincoln. I'm Wesley Triplett.
And I'm Ray Tadako. Are you ready for the weekend, Wesley?
I am. I made plans with my friends and I'm excited. What about you?
That's pretty good. I'm a little bit excited, but I'm definitely bummed that something isn't happening this year.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We start today with major news that impacts Lincoln High School students, staff, and children at a local hospital.
That's right. Tomorrow's Gehanathon is canceled. The t-shirts are printed and the painted signs are hanging in the hallways, all in anticipation of this annual school-wide spirit event that pits students versus the faculty, but most importantly helps raise money for Nationwide Children's Hospital's Hematology, Oncology, and Blood and Marrow Transplant Unit.
It's especially unfortunate that the fun day of competitions was canceled because it's the second year in a row that there is no Gehanathon.
Why was it canceled? Here's Student Council member Aaron Sakwa to explain.
Gehanathon is canceled due to the lack of students and staff members having conflicting schedule issues, and our advisor was having surgery, so we didn't have anyone to kind of run the events for us because, you know, kids are not allowed to do that, and we couldn't have a parent do it due to insurance reasons, but you guys can still do what you need to do to donate.
That's unfortunate. Even though the fun part of Gehanathon is canceled, there's still ways you can contribute to the kids at Nationwide by donating to Buckeyethon at Ohio State. The money goes to the same place as Gehanathon. Just go to buckeyethon.osu.edu. Again, that's buckeyethon.osu.edu. Also, Student Council asks that you share that link on social media to help raise more money.
So who exactly benefits from your donations to Gehanathon and Buckeyethon? Well, here's just one example. Middle School South 6th grader Evan White recently got to hear the sound that all cancer patients hope to hear. Evan was the poster child for Gehanathon just 3 years ago, and today he is cancer-free. Evan and his family believe he wouldn't have gotten to ring that bell to signal the end of his chemotherapy without the help he got at Nationwide.
All the doctors and the child life people were there to support me and help me get through chemo, and they were always there with me. They provided like toys, they provided like lots of things to help me and my family. Ringing the bell means I'm officially done with chemo. It felt really good to ring it.
I was really proud. It was just so cool to see him get to finally ring the bell just after everything that he went through. Overall, there's been so much support between the doctors, the child life people. We didn't have to just be at the hospital to get the support.
Congrats again, Evan. I hope that people donate.
Gehanathon is just one way that students here at Lincoln are helping others.
In fact, there are 2 major events going on right now in our school where students are helping those in need.
So let's head down to the auditorium where Reagan Reitz joins us live.
Good morning, Reagan. I hear a lot of students are rolling up their sleeves today.
Yes, for sure. There is a blood drive happening right behind me in the auditorium, and every contribution is important. According to the American Red Cross, this is the worst blood shortage in over a decade. Many students and staff are here to help combat that, as well as help provide some of the 36,000 blood cells needed every single day in the United States. Unfortunately, they are not accepting walk-ins, and every donor had to be pre-registered, but many students signed up and are ready to donate. We caught up with Red Cross advisor Christy Grogan this morning for more information on the blood drive.
So it's important to donate blood because blood saves lives. You can first be eligible to donate blood when you're 16. So it's a great way to get involved and give back to your community without having, to spend any money or anything like that. You have your blood, you can share it to others. And like I said, blood saves lives.
Thanks, Christy. I hope everyone who signed up is ready to donate. Now back to Wesley and Ray at the news desk.
Thanks, Reagan. Quick question. You mentioned a blood shortage. Do you know what's causing it?
Well, according to the American Red Cross, the pandemic has caused a domino effect leading to the shortage. There has been an overall 10% decline in donors and a 62% drop in college and high school donation sites. This is caused by ineligible donors due to illness exposure, as well as closures due to COVID-19.
Wow, well, hopefully students filled all the donation appointments today. Thanks again, Reagan.
Even if you didn't sign up for an appointment to donate today, you can still donate.
Every donation helps save 3 lives, and there's a place right here in Gahanna where you can donate.
The Red Cross has a permanent donation center located in Stone Ridge Plaza right next to the movie theater.
They're open 7 days a week from 6:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon.
You can make an appointment online at redcrossblooddonations.org. The blood drive and Gehanathon are 2 ways to donate, and there's yet a 3rd way to donate here at school to help those in need.
And for that, we head live to the hallway outside the auditorium to bring in Britton Alexander to tell us about Be the Match.
Good morning, Britton. What exactly is Be the Match, and how can our viewers help?
Good morning. Well, Be the Match is a global nonprofit organization that has been brought right here to our school. In the auditorium, students are getting their mouths swabbed, which will eventually be sent off for processing in order to see if they are a potential match for someone in need of a life-saving stem cell transplant, which can help with a variety of diseases, cancers, and blood disorders. I caught up with Regan Peterson, whose dad received a stem cell transplant, to explain why this event is so important.
My main goal for this event is to spread awareness and help add donors to the registry list, and so more people in the world have an opportunity to find their perfect match. You can help ensure somebody has a second chance of life if they are suffering with any of the diseases they cover. We want to keep pushing for research to help find diagnoses quicker and just to keep growing the knowledge about it.
Thanks, Regan, for spreading awareness on this cause. Now back to Ray and Wesley in the studio.
Thanks, Britton. So how long does this process usually take?
It actually only takes 30 seconds and is completely effortless, hopefully encouraging all students to make their way down to the auditorium to start their very own donation process. Now back to Ray and Wesley in the studio.
Thanks, Britt. I'm so glad we got to learn more about how to give back.
Me too, but that's exactly what the Y Men and Y Women are doing.
The Y Men and Y Women took a trip to the Mid-Ohio Food Bank to volunteer.
The members sorted frozen meats, entrees, desserts, and more.
The group also labeled and packaged boxes, broke down recyclables into a compactor, and completed other tasks that allowed them to process a whopping 9,484 pounds of goods. And their members were happy to help.
Overall, I feel as if it was a great experience. I don't really get into much community service, so I feel like this club has really helped me to get inside of that field. And I feel like we really worked as a team to try and get everybody together and then eventually help the common good.
From giving to a give and take between our school district, our athletes, and local residents.
Construction on our new high school is scheduled to begin on August 2nd. And the exact location of the new school and, in turn, the stadium is a hot topic of debate in Gahanna.
The school board voted 3-2 to approve Plan A that you see here.
The new school will be where the existing stadium sits.
The initial timeline for construction meant that no fall sports in 2022 can be held in our stadium.
And home events would have to take place at other schools or local colleges, but a compromise of sorts has been reached.
For details on the agreement, we head out to the stadium where Jillian Sanders is standing by. Good morning, Jillian.
Hey, Wesley.
Tell us what's going on.
Well, the students of Gahanna Lincoln spoke up when they learned that their stadium would be closed next year, and our administrators definitely listened. In fact, the outcry from the students changed the timeline for the demolition of our current stadium.
Sports in the city of Gahanna is one of the major reasons people come to visit. But what happens when the stadium gets torn down?
It's going to be a challenge because it's not going to feel like we have our home field, right? So what we're used to, every Friday night or Tuesday, Thursday for soccer, lacrosse, those types of things, it's going to be different. But we're working on alternatives to have places for our athletes to be during that time.
We've been meeting with experts, design experts, so architects, builders. A was the safest choice, so we've also met with safety experts, and it gets us the stadium more quickly than all the other options, so it's a 12-month build out for the stadium.
On February 7th, the GJPS Board of Education announced that they will be going with Plan A. This caused some arguments to arise within the students.
We tried to fight it we try to go about it and, get things changed, but it is what it is. It's people that are higher than us, older than us, making those decisions.
You can't tell me it's the only way. I feel like we do need a new school and new facilities, but I feel like we could have worked this out a little bit better.
Although the students are upset, Mr. Barrett is taking into consideration what they have to say.
They had a lot of really good insight, and they were very thoughtful and passionate about having a senior night in the GL, in the center of the field, walking out with their parents and their family. And that was very moving to us, and we knew how important that was. And so we sat down with our builder, our architects, and we said, can we have a few games inside of August and September so that they could have senior nights? And so we'll be able to be in the stadium till September 5th and then deliver it to our builders on September 6th.
Although they won't have a stadium for most of their season, they will get to experience one special night, but just a little bit earlier.
I'm trying to carry the aspect of something is better than nothing, so to even get to play on our field for one last game, even if it's at the beginning of the season, is better than like being at ODU or at Blacklick Elementary.
I'm grateful of that. At least we get like some experience at home, something you can't replace.
Now knowing at least that it'll be here where we've been playing at for the last 4 years, even if it is a lot earlier than the date that we'd like it to be, at least we still get to have it at home.
So there is no perfect solution, but the athletes and their families get to take the field one last time for senior night at the beginning of their season instead of the end.
Thanks, Jillian. Being a fellow athlete, you have to sympathize with others who play in the stadium.
Yeah, those are my fellow classmates, and I do feel bad for them, but at least they get to take their field one last time. Back to Wesley and Ray at the news desk.
Interesting story. Thanks, Jillian.
Stadium construction will start the day after Labor Day. Ray, we may be facing challenges here at Lincoln and in the Gahanna community, but there are bigger things going on in the world that affect us.
That's so true. Actually, our Mia Sammons is here to discuss the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mia. So what do you have for us today?
Well, many of you have not been following this major international story, so we wanted to track down some students here at Lincoln who can fill you in on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So who better to ask than students in our AP European History class? We asked a few of their students a simple question. What should Lincoln students know about what's been going on? Here are their responses.
So Ukraine used to be a part of the USSR, so Putin still feels that it's part of Russian territory and should be in Russia. And since Ukraine is on the eastern border, it separates a lot of NATO countries in the east from Russia.
Currently, lots of Ukrainian refugees are crossing the borders into places like Poland. Places like Poland have actually made things on their websites, on their government websites, to make crossing the borders much easier for Ukrainians, even if they don't have passports, just to get them safe.
Thanks, guys. The war in Ukraine has not only made a major impact on people's lives in Ukraine, but also here in the United States. One obvious effect is that gas prices have skyrocketed to an all-time high. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of regular gasoline in the United States is $4.17. And I'm sure that all you with driver's license are feeling the pain at the gas pump. Here's economics teacher Mr. Beck to explain why gas prices are so high.
So why have oil prices gone up so much? Mostly it's because oil is traded on a global market. So that means any oil lack of or reduction in oil supply is going to increase prices across the board. So as we've lost Russian supply of oil, what's happened is we've lost the supply of oil, and what's going to happen to price? Well, price is going to go up, and here's our new level.
Thanks, Mr. Beck. Hopefully the gas prices come down soon. That's a quick look at just a few stories from Outsider School. Now back to Wesley.
Thanks, Mia. Several school programs are thriving in competitions against other schools in Ohio, but some of these programs will soon be taking on students from across the country. This includes our very own Distributive Education Clubs of America, or DECA class. The DECA class here at Lincoln had 20 students qualify in the top 10 in the state. 15 of the 20 students placed within the top 4, which means they are headed to Atlanta for the international DECA competition. And the DECA students are more excited than ever to move on to nationals.
We've spent a lot of time and effort
for a lot of long hours on Saturdays and Sunday nights. We came in early to school often, so just to place in state and have the ability to compete national. So that's been our goal the whole time, and it's pretty cool to see that happen. We acted confident, and one joke that we had with our teacher, Mr. Lynch, was we'd always say, "See you on the podium, Mr. Lynch, first place." And I mean, that's what ended up happening. So yeah, it was a little surprising, but I feel like our team thought with the work we put in, we kind of deserved it.
Great job, DECA students. Something very exciting will be taking place this summer for our students in our Teaching Professions program who competed in the Educators Rising State Competition. 31 competitors placed in the top 10, and 17 of them are headed to nationals in Washington, D.C. in June. Winning events at the state competition were Lizzie Valdez, Regan Peterson, Cheney Smith, Chloe Dixon, and Anna Rice. Congrats.
It's time to check in with some of the great performing arts programs here at Lincoln. The choirs are back from their district competition, and both the a cappella choir, freshman girls, and freshman boys choir earned perfect scores, while the women's ensemble earned superior ratings across the board. With the success, all of them will be moving on to the state choir competition. Here's senior Isaac Lutz to talk more about how hard all of these students have worked.
Overall, I consider our preparation pretty good, considering it's been 2 years since the last time we went to contest, and I was very impressed with how well we got, especially near the end. We put ourselves together more, and we got more focused and concentrated, and overall, I think everyone was pleased with their performance. We worked really hard, and I think we've worked even harder than the years past, so we've really stepped up the game, and we've really improved ourselves, and I think we're all ready for states.
Thanks, Isaac. Our chamber orchestra is preparing for a big event. On Sunday, they will team up with the Gahanna Community Chorus to perform songs of hope and resilience. It's a program about the past 2 years and celebrates music's power to heal us and bring our community back together. There will be 2 performances at Peace Lutheran Church. The first is at 2:30 and one at 4:30. Tickets will be $5 for students and $10 for parents. Orchestra members like Carson Wolf are looking forward to playing with the chorus.
I'm excited because I've never played alongside a chorus before. We're playing some contemporary pieces and some older ones too, so it's nice to play all kinds of different songs. As well as I'm working with the community chorus, it's nice to be conducted by someone different and just have a new experience.
Thanks, Carson. Gahanna's theater program is putting in a lot of hard work and time into making a strong comeback. The spring musical Chicago was canceled in 2019. That means it's been 3 calendar years without a spring musical due to COVID-19 restrictions. With spring approaching, the students are in rehearsal for the biggest production of the year, the spring musical Legally Blonde. And all of the members of the cast and crew are very excited to be back after being away for so long.
I am so excited. We're currently in our 2nd week of rehearsals, and I'm so glad to be back. It's our first full musical since freshman year, and we are now seniors, and I'm just so excited to be getting here.
Thanks, guys. I can't wait to see the show.
I bet that performance takes a lot of people to get it ready for the stage.
I bet you're right. Today we are joined by Sophia Peck and the assistant director for this year's spring musical.
Good morning, Sophia.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. So why don't you introduce us to your guest?
Yeah, so today I'm joined by Nora Butter, this year's assistant director for our musical Legally Blonde. So Nora, what's it like being assistant director as a student?
Well, I think for me it's super interesting to see the difference between being on stage in the creative process, so learning how to block a scene, like showing where people go and how the show is going to work is a super cool process.
Yeah, so being assistant director and a senior comes with a lot of responsibility. So how does it feel knowing you have such an impact on other students?
Well, I think this position gives me a role of leadership in the program, so being someone that is reliable enough for students and actors to come up to and ask questions, and also be that friend, because I am still everyone's age, that it's just that dichotomy is really important to me, and I want to be a representative of both sides.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you most excited for about this show?
I think the dance numbers, they're all setting up to be really cool, but also just to watch all my friends have a good time on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Nora.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, now it's time to head back to Ray and Wesley at the news desk.
Thanks, Sophia and Nora, for joining us this morning. Speaking of the arts, there are many talented artists and teachers here at GLHS.
One of these talented teachers is Mr. Scanlon.
He specializes in the painting classes, helping students increase their art skills.
And as an art student myself, I decided to take a deeper dive on Mr. Scanlon and his passion for painting.
Things that inspire me as an artist would be just the ability to create works of art that come from nothing. My name is Mr. Scanlon, and I am an art teacher here at Gahanna Lincoln High School, and I personally make my own art on the side. I am a painter by nature. My main inspiration, I would say, for both my abstract and my realistic paintings would be landscapes. You don't necessarily see that in my abstract paintings as much when you first look at them, but I like to allow the viewer to create their own story on what they're looking at. Yes, you can explain something if it's already there, but with being an artist, you're creating that something, and all my abstract pieces are something that's never been produced before. Art means to me, I would say, just the whole concept of creating something out of nothing. I can start with a blank piece of paper and produce something that's enjoyable to look at. It's kind of a spur of the moment along the way at times, but I usually have a color scheme that I want to go for, and then different mark making techniques, and I like to work bigger. Bigger I think is better in terms of artwork and abstract. It takes a lot more than is seen by the eye, and just understanding kind of why does this color look good next to that color, why does this mark look good next to that mark, and that kind of really all just comes down to your principles of design with rhythm, movement, and understanding how I can take all those skills and put it into an abstract piece and make it look, once again, aesthetically pleasing. The reason I teach painting and drawing and just art in general at the high school level is to just allow those students to have the same experience I did. I would say my art teachers were a major influence as to why I do what I do today. I know that I am doing well at my craft, and allowing others to be able to have that knowledge and mindset with their own art and developing their skills at a younger age to get to the point where I'm at is truly an inspiration for me.
Wesley, as unique as the art classes are, GLHS is definitely busy in the classrooms.
That's right. I know the perfect person to give us the insight on all of those classes.
We have our very own DeAndre Person joining us this morning.
Hey, DeAndre.
Hey guys, well, I have a lot to tell you about.
Take it away, DeAndre.
Let's take a look into some of our science and social studies classes, as they've been doing many fun and diverse activities. I want to take you inside some classrooms, starting off with physics. In Mrs. Lukasco's class, students are cracking eggs open.
1, go.
The class took on a project where they designed and built paper race cars using 3 pieces of paper, 30 centimeters tape, and 4 wheels. When designing the cars, the students aimed for a car that can travel down a ramp with the fastest momentum and withstand high speed frontal impact. The car must protect a raw egg. Here are Nazi Johnny Upshur and Lily Phillips to explain how they designed their car.
On the inside of our car, we put like a fringe type folded piece of paper so that when the car hit the book, the egg would fly forward, but it would slow down because of the piece of paper, so it would take more time to crash.
We added these like 3 tubes on the front of our car so that when it hit, which was like a stack of books, the egg didn't break.
Thanks, guys. Chemistry students are also using a fun way to learn about different elements on the periodic table and how they react. Through exposing the elements to different conditions, the students studied what reactions came as a result of specific chemical interactions. No 2 elements reacted exactly the same. Students set different elements like silicone, aluminum, and more on fire to see how they'd react. We talked to some chemistry students to get their thoughts on the lab.
What I learned in chemistry is that all of the elements on the periodic table react differently depending on how you use them in different situations. Like my favorite part that we did was when we put sodium in water and it like exploded and like blew up the water out of like the beaker.
The Letters Project being constructed by our World War II history class is a living monument. Students have a goal of collecting 6 million paper clips to honor the 6 million Jewish people and millions of others who were killed by the German Nazis in World War II. They want the monument to also acknowledge the ongoing injustice today by asking students, staff, community members, and prominent figures to share their experiences with injustice through writing letters.
I think she picked paper clips because the Norwegians had paper clips during World War II to show their opposition, to silently show their opposition to Nazism and anti-Semitism.
We are currently collecting 6 million paper clips, and we are about around 1,500,000 of the way there, and we're hoping to get some more during this class.
If you'd like to donate some paper clips, drop them off at Mrs. Cander's room J372. Well, that wraps up all I have for you guys today. Now back to the best anchors in the world at the news desk.
Thanks, DeAndre. We hope you have a wonderful day.
I hope you have a wonderful day as well.
Hey, Wesley, do you have any pets?
Yeah, I do have a dog. What about you?
I have 4 pets. Well, hopefully you visited the dog treat business that's being run here in the school.
I actually have, and while my dog loves the treats, I also love most about the Barkery and how they are helping kids learn valuable skills by making treats.
Gabriela Fabrizio has the story.
We've got our pumpkin. Connor, we've got our peanut butter.
You may not know it, but the ESS program has been working hard since last year, running their very own business out of their classroom. It's called the Gahanna Barkery, where they bake treats for dogs.
A couple years ago, one of the former teachers here had the idea of creating an in-school dog biscuit business. We started our dog bone business to give us an opportunity to engage with the community, even though we weren't necessarily allowed to go out in it. Gave the kids an in-school job.
The treats are baked in their classroom, and students are involved in every step of the process.
We're going to count each one. Okay. 1. They'll buy all of the ingredients. We'll bring them back. We'll measure out all of the ingredients. We'll roll out all of the dough. The students will cut out all of the different shapes, and then we'll bake them. And after they're finished being baked, we usually bag everything up in bulk.
I like making a dog treat and putting in an oven.
Not only do the students love it, but response from the community has been nothing but positive.
People like it. Everybody don't like it. Everybody like it.
Deliver them to Mill School East.
We've been to a couple community events where we've sold almost all of our dog biscuits. We've raised a lot of money that we put back into the program.
Not only is the Barkery a fun way to raise money for the ESS class, but it also provides a lot of educational opportunities for students in the program.
So there's a lot of really great fine motor and gross motor opportunities. There's math opportunities, there's reading opportunities to read the modified recipe and follow step-by-step instructions.
I didn't know how to bake before, and now I'm starting to bake.
We need to get busy, get along how to work.
The next time you're buying treats for your pet, think about choosing ones that are homemade and for a good cause. This is Gabriela Fabrizio for Lincoln Live.
Thanks, Gabriela. I'll be sure to buy some treats soon. You know, sometimes we can't keep up with everything around us.
I agree. I usually see things pop up on social media, especially things involving celebrities, movies, music, and hot takes.
Same, and I feel like I'm always left out on some of that drama.
Ray, you won't feel left out soon. Let's introduce this week's Pop Culture Minute.
In light of the recent invasions of Ukraine, multiple streaming services and media platforms have pulled their services from Russia. Both Netflix and Amazon Prime have stopped streaming in Russia entirely, and Warner Bros. Has announced they are pulling all new business and theatrical releases in Russia.
A24's new film, Everything Everywhere All at Once, comes out next Friday and is already expected to be a huge hit. Rating a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 10 out of 10 by IGN, the company already describes it as a game changer for what cinematic multiverses can be.
Popular BBC series Killing Eve is coming to an end. Season 4 premiered February 27th and has been running every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on BBC, as well as streaming on AMC+. What started as a cat and mouse detective story has turned into a character study of 2 fascinating women, played by Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer. Fans are hoping for a satisfying conclusion. The finale is set to air April 10th.
Turning Red hit Disney Plus directly a week ago, with controversy about its release straight onto streaming services. The movie follows Mei Li, a 13-year-old girl who turns into a giant red panda when she is overcome with emotion. It is a coming-of-age story that tackles topics such as puberty and family. Coming soon to Disney Plus includes Cheaper by the Dozen and Marvel's Moon Knight.
Thanks, guys. Now listen up, Lincoln. The latest episode of the Lincoln Sports Zone is out now on our YouTube channel, so check it out. Also, there's a lot of variety to listen to on our podcast channel, The Lion Cubcast. The latest episodes include an interview with tennis state champ Brandon Carpico, a new episode of Real Good Movies that discusses the latest movie releases, and Hot or Not with Britton Alexander. She discusses reboots in television and movies. So check it out at our Lion Cubcast on Mixler.com.
Well, Lincoln, it looks like we've come to the end of our show.
We hope you all enjoy your weekend.
And only one more week of school until spring break. So hang in there, Lincoln.
See
you
ya.
Monday.